Hotep Kush. We are back for our science lesson. Today is April the 14th, 2020. And earlier we did a lesson on math and equal groups. And now we're going to be talking about science. So our NIA for today, what we're going to be talking about and what we're going to be learning is in my box over here. And it's a little hard to see. So I'm going to read it for you. I don't need you to copy. I just need you to listen. Our NIA students will be able to identify sunlight, air, water, nutrients, and space as the basic needs of plants. So we're going to be talking about plants in our science lesson for the next couple of days. And we're going to be talking about what do plants need in order to survive, in order to grow, in order to bloom, in order to get bigger. And so we're talking about their basic needs. So in my NIA, it's talking about sunlight, air, water, nutrients. What are nutrients? Nutrients are vitamins. And space, that it needs a space in order for it to grow and get bigger. And these all sound like things that we need in order for us to grow and get bigger as well. Students will be able to explain that a living thing must meet its basic needs to survive. So we're going to talk about the basic needs, and then we're going to see that a plant must have all of those needs if it's going to grow and it's going to survive. So that is our NIA for today. Hopefully you were able to go on to the YouTube video that I put a link on for, and that was to just discuss about the needs of plants. It was just a short video. If you didn't get a chance to watch it before the lesson, you can always go back and watch it after. So now we are going to get into our science books. So I need everyone to get out their science book. And you can push pause while you're getting your science book out. And we are going to open to page 135. So push pause on the video while you're getting to your science page 135. And your page should look just like mine. All right. So we see in this picture, I see a whole bunch of flowers. Right, yes. Does anybody know what kind of flowers these are? Oh, I see some hands. Okay, right. We have sunflowers. Good job. And we're on Unit 4, and it says all about plants. So my whole unit, the next couple lessons, is going to be all about plants and what do they need to grow and how are they going to get those needs in order for them to grow. Because plants can't go to the grocery store like we can, and they can't run around, so how are they getting these things that they need in order to survive? So that's what we're going to learn about. And in our green box, we have our big idea. And it says, all plants need certain things to live and grow. Plants have parts that help them grow. And it gives us a little over here. It tells us a caption for our picture. It says sunflowers. And down here, it says, I wonder why. The sunflowers all face the sun. Why? And it says, turn the page to find out. All right, you following with me? So we're on page 136. Your page should look like mine. My whiteboard is trying to fall down. So if I look at the top, it says, here's why. So this is answering my question from the other page. Oops, that's not the right page. It's answering my question, why are the sunflowers facing the sun? And on my page, it says at the top, here's why. Plants such as sunflowers need sunlight to live. Well, that goes back to our Nia that we were talking about. They face the sun to get as much sunlight as they can. In this unit, you will explore this big idea, the essential questions and the investigations on the inquiry flip chart. So now we're looking at our white chart in here. And this is our table of contents for this unit. It's telling me what each lesson is about and what pages those lessons are, as well as an essential question for each of those lessons. So we're going to look at lesson 1, and it says, what are plant needs? And it's on page 137. And my inquiry flip chart is block the light. This is an investigation that we are going to do together. So I am going to have you take out your copybook so that we can do some science. So we're going to the back of our math copybook, and that's where we're going to put our science work. So take out your math copybook, turn to the back, and pause my video while you're waiting, while you're getting out your copybook. So everyone should have their science copybook open in the back. And I need you to put the date at the top because we're always going to start with the date so we know when we have to go back to look for something where it can be found. So today is April 14th, 2020. Please put that at the top of your page. And then I need you to write essential question, lesson 1. And the question is, what are plant needs? So I need you to copy what I have, not my name, not what's in the box, the date, my essential question. I need you to copy that and push pause until you have finished copying everything that I have on the board, but not in the box. Now that you have finished copying what's on the board, I need you now to take maybe 3 minutes, pause the video, and I need you to answer. Give me 3 things that you think a plant needs. And you can just make a list. You can just do bullets. And it says, what our plant needs? List at least 3 things that a plant may need in order to survive. And pause the video while you answer those questions, while you answer that question. All right, so by now you should have your 3 things, and we're going to come back to this question after we have read this lesson. So we're going back to our science book, and we're looking at page 137. And on here, what do you see in this picture? Yeah, I see a boy and I see a humongous pumpkin that he has in a wheelbarrow to help him because that would be too much for him to carry. So this is lesson 1. What are plant needs? Engage your brain. Find the answer to the question in the lesson. What do you know about a pumpkin this big? It's blank were met. So we're going to come back to that after we've read our lesson. So now I need you to turn to page 137. And we're talking about plant needs, and your page should look like my page. Plant needs. Plants are living things. All living things must have certain things to live and grow. These things are called basic needs. And see how that's highlighted? Because that's an important word. So let's go back and see. These things are called basic needs. What happens if a plant does not meet its basic needs? It may stop growing. It may turn brown or begin to droop. It may die. Active reading. Circle the details that tell what happens when a plant does not meet its basic needs. So I need you to go back up to what we just read together, and I need you to circle the details that say what happens if a plant isn't getting its basic needs. So pause the video while you go up and circle your details for what's happening to a plant if it doesn't get its basic needs. Okay, so we come back and we're looking, what happens if a plant does not meet its basic needs? And that's what I was looking for from my question, my active reading. It may stop growing, so I'm going to circle stop growing. It may turn brown, begin to droop, and it may die. So if you can see my book, I've circled stop growing, turn brown, droop, die. Those are what could happen if the plant doesn't get its basic needs. Let's look at our caption. These plants are meeting their basic needs. And we can see that because they're nice and bright, they're colorful, they're growing, so they're getting the things that they need to survive. Let's go over to page 139 and we see this boy. What's he doing? Right, he's watering the plants. He has a watering can. He's got gardening gloves and a hat to protect him from the sun. And it says, what basic need is the boy giving the plants? So what is he giving the plants that they need? Water. So on my line up here, I'm writing the word water. My caption says, people can help plants meet their basic needs. So this boy is helping the plant. Let's look at the bottom where it says, wonderful water. Plants need water. Do you know how they get it? A plant's roots take in water from the soil. Water is a basic need that helps plants live and grow. So they get the water through the soil, through their roots, which are like straws, and it sucks it up and spreads it out throughout the entire plant. And we're going to learn more about that. So make sure you have water up here for the boy giving the plant water that it needs to survive. Let's turn over and we're on light and airy. Do you wonder why people put some potted plants by windows? Plants need sunlight to grow. They also need air and water. Plants use air, water, and sunlight to make their own food. Let's look under active reading. Underline the sentence that tells what plants need to make food. So let's go back up here and reread. Do you wonder why people put some potted plants by windows? And they mean potted plants, they mean the ones that are in flower pots. Plants need sunlight to grow. They also need air and water. Plants use air, water, and sunlight to make their own food. Okay, so again, it says underline the sentence that tells what plants need to make food. So pause the video. And I want you to find that answer up here in just what we just read. What do plants need to make food? So pause the video, underline the sentence that tells me what plants need to make food, and then we'll come back and check it together. Okay, so if I go back and I have read this twice already, I see plants use air, water, and sunlight to make their own food. And my lines are not straight because I'm writing with my left hand and I can't write with my left hand that well, so I have squiggly lines. So plants use air, water, and sunlight to make their own food. So in the past couple of pages we've read a lot about a couple things, and I keep repeating something over and over. We keep repeating the word air, water, and sunlight. So those seem like important things that plants need in order for them to survive. My caption, how are these plants getting what they need? So how are these plants getting what they need? It's a little hard for us to see here, but they're in the window, so they're getting the sunlight that they need to help make their own food. Great job, guys. Great job. Nutrients and space. And nutrients, that means vitamins. Like when you take vitamins to give you strong muscles and healthy bones, that's what plants need also. It's just a little different. So when we say the word nutrients, we're just talking about vitamins. And space. Are we talking about outer space with the planets? Not here. We're talking about just a space for them to move and grow. Plants need nutrients from the soil. Nutrients are substances that help plants grow. Growing plants need more nutrients and water. Their roots grow and spread to get more of these things. Plants need enough space for their roots, stems, and leaves to grow. So let's look at the picture. This kind of helps us out with what they're saying at the top. That we have the roots down here, which look like strings or little straws. And that's where the plant is getting the moisture, the water, the nutrients from the soil. And that happens when it rains and it soaks down into the soil. And then that's where they can suck up the water, just like you were drinking from a straw, drinking some juice. So they're going to suck up the water through the roots, and then it's going to go up into the stem, and it's going to spread out into the leaves, and then it's going to go up here, and these look like tomato plants. So it's going to go up into the tomato, so it spreads up like a big straw, and it goes out to all the branches, all the leaves, and up into the tomatoes to help them grow. Circle the place that shows that these tomato plants have space to grow. So see here. Oh, you can't see because my book was down. I apologize. See here. They're not right next to each other. They're spread apart. They have space because as they're growing taller, they're getting more leaves and they're going to be getting wider and getting more tomatoes. So the person who planted these tomato plants, they gave them space to grow. Because if they were planted right next to each other, the roots would start taking over for other plants and some of the plants might die if the roots were taking over. If these roots were too close to here, one of them might get all the nutrients and the other one wouldn't. And then we would have some problems with dying and turning brown and drooping, just like they told us on the other page. Okay, let's turn. So I see sum it up, mark it, solve it, draw it. I see a word play. Oh, that's one of my favorite things. I love word searches. And on the next page, come on page, I see apply concepts. These are, you are going to work on these 3 pages by yourself or with a parent, and then your parent is going to take a picture and send it to Mama Angie and Sister Amanda at grade 2 at sfacs.us, and that way we can give you credit for doing your work. So here it says sum it up, mark it. Cross out the thing that a plant does not need to grow. Solve it, fill in the blank. I'm all around you, but you can't see me. I'm something all living things need. What am I? Draw it. You're going to draw a picture of a plant and label to show where the plant is getting its basic needs. So you can go back to the tomato plant to give you an idea. word play. You're going to find the words that are up here in the orange box. And my last page, which keeps not wanting to turn on me. Okay, page, come on. Here I have a plant, and it says complete the word web to tell about things that plants need. So we've done word webs, and this one's shaped like a plant. So in each of these petals, you're going to write something that the plant needs in order to survive. And you're going to do this without Mama Angie, and then you're going to take a picture and have your parents send it to us. So now we're going to do an investigation, and we are going to talk about what happens if I block the sunlight from a plant. What's going to happen? Oh, so we are getting ready to do an investigation, and guess what Mama Angie forgot? To go back to our essential question. If you're on Mama Angie's class, you know sometimes I'm a little forgetful, but that's because I also get excited about our investigations. So let's look at going back into our science copybook and our essential question, lesson 1, what are plant needs? And you are supposed to give me 3 things that you think a plant needs to survive. So after we read those few pages in lesson 1, let's go back and see if what you wrote goes along with what we read. So, who's going to give me the 3 things that they wrote? Oh, I see your hand behind me. All right, so one thing we talked about that we heard a couple times was sunlight. So one thing that plants need is sunlight. Something else that we saw was water. We saw air, that plants need air. And then some people may have said, well, Mama Angie, there was something else that I saw. So we could have also put nutrients. And I'm not spelling that right. Mama Angie, come on. Nutrients and space. So you could have had any of these 3. We have 5, but you could have picked 3 of these. So our essential question for lesson 1, what are plant needs? Sunlight, water, air, nutrients, and space. Good job, guys. Now we're going to go to our investigation. So leave your science copybooks open. And what you're going to do is underneath, what my students do is they usually draw a line to show that we're moving on to something else. You're going to draw or write our investigation for today. We're going to do one today, and then we're going to also do one on Thursday when we come back for science. So we have the date at the top of our page, so we don't have to do that again. But I need you to copy what I write. Block. Stop. The light if you have room, you can go across, but my board is smaller. Oops, talking and writing. Investigation. Trying to talk and write, and I'm writing it wrong. So this is our investigation. It's called Block the Light Investigation. And you have a question that you're going to have to make a prediction or make a guess about, an educated guess. So I need you to write the question. Do plants need sunlight to survive. And I have a question mark because I'm asking a question. So I need you to copy what I have in red. And then I need you to answer in a complete sentence. Do plants need sunlight to survive? So I'm going to help you to start your answer, but I'm not going to answer it for you because you're making a guess about what do plants need, thinking about everything we just read about and what you know about plants. You're going to make a prediction. Do plants need sunlight to survive? Plants, and then you're going to write do need or do not need sunlight. And that's what you're going to write for me for right now. So pause the video. As you finish this, you're going to write this, and then you're going to make your prediction. Do plants need sunlight to survive? What do you think? And I need it in a complete sentence. So pause the video while you answer that so then we can get ready for our investigation. All right, so you should have finished your prediction so that we can move on to the actual investigation. So right now we're just doing the first part of the investigation, and we're going to have to come back next Tuesday and we're going to have to do an observation and use our eyes to see if anything has changed. So in this investigation, we're wondering, do plants need sunlight to survive? So what we're going to do is, I have black construction paper and it's folded in half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover a leaf with this paper, and I'm going to put a piece of tape to keep it covered. But I'm putting the tape on the black construction paper. And I'm going to put another piece so it doesn't slide off. So I've covered a leaf with the black construction paper, and I'm going to do another leaf with a piece of black construction paper. I will do the one next to it because that's nice and simple. 2 pieces of tape. You want to cover that leaf. All right. Looks like it's getting its hair done. And I'm going to do one more leaf. We'll go over to the other side. And I'm going to pick, where'd my paper go? Oh.
I'm the shadow.
I have one more leaf I'm going to cover.
Go down. Yeah.
Still phone?
I'm doing a video. So I have covered 3 of my leaves with black construction paper. So on Tuesday, I'm going to put this in the window downstairs where it was. And on Tuesday, we're going to take off that construction paper and we're going to see what happens. And we're going to write our observation, which is what do we see happen, what changed. And we're going to decide if our prediction was correct. Do plants need sunlight to survive? So we're going to come back on Tuesday to check in and see what happened and see if our predictions were correct. So at this time, our science lesson is over with Mama Angie. But now you are going back and working on those workbook pages that we talked about. 142, 143, and 144. You're going to work on those, and you can go back into the lesson to find your answer if you're not sure. And then make sure your parent takes a picture of those pages and emails it to Mama Angie so you can get credit. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday for our next lesson of math and our next lesson of science. Have a great day.